You've got the Book of Mormon. You've got Joseph Smith. You don't need to go to the extreme that if it's not true according to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, then it's all hopeless. I give up. If it's not Christianity true, then I give up. Is it really so bad to be the learning of the Jews? You have no idea what it is, and already you're dismissing it. But I want to be a Christian. I don't want to be a Jew. Dear God. Pathetic. Travis Wayne Goodsell. What you see on the screen is my kindergarten, Miller Elementary School, and first grade. My dad had graduated from Berkeley and got a job working for the Ford Motor Company, which I understand is now their factory is got the part of the strike going on with the union. And back then it was a result of the scandal with the Pinto that was exposed by a reporter who then went off the deep end to become a Christian. And a movie was made about him. But thanks to the reporter, my dad was able to get a job working for the Ford Motor Company. And we lived in this area, so that I went to Miller Elementary School for kindergarten and first grade. And apparently there's 3 Miller Elementary Schools in that area of Michigan, and so mine is the Canton, Michigan area, not the one closer to Detroit where my dad went to work with the Ford Motor Company. And you see the 2 circular places. These were the classrooms. My classrooms were over here on the lower south side, where the older kids were on the northwest side. And so our playground, actually first grade, we went over on the north side, because I remember, because we had to go all the way around to play in the forest here on the southwest side. Yeah, interesting. We were able to play in the trees, climb the trees, and sit in the branches and such. I see they're doing some construction out there. There wasn't all this dirt stuff. But, I'll take you on my path. I walked to school, and so go to Hanford Road, take a right, and we'd go all the way to the park where Willow Creek is. Now, there was a bridge over the creek, but there was also another little plank of wood over this other area that was slippery when muddy. And I would take the little trail here and get onto my street, Paul Revere Lane. And right there between the 2 houses. And my house, possibly this one, because the garage is on the right side. I don't recognize the yeah, that's not it. It was a 2-story house, even though there is the second story. It's just a partial. but that could be that actually could be it, actually. I might have to sign in. If I'm going to look at it closer, but it would be right there where you saw the little thing on the screen, this house. So my parents' master bedroom is on the left side. Whoops. Oh, cool. This was my parents' master bedroom. And I guess it seems a lot smaller. But there was I'm not comfortable with this. Because there was a banister across to get to my parents' bedroom that was forward a little bit. And I'm not seeing anything to justify a banister across there. See, here's one over here. How do we get out of this? That's not it, that's too far. My heavens, what have we done? What are you doing? Stop it! I'm trying to see this one. It looks like there could be. So I'm kind of confused as to how to get out of this now. Can we escape? Yeah, there we go. So that was that house. So let's check that one. Guess I did this, didn't I? No, it won't put me in front of it. I think this is more conducive to it, but all these trees were not there. It was a brand new subdivision, and our house was one of the few on the street. But anyway, regardless. So, let me get that closed off. So what we had was the Beth incident, if anybody remembers any of that video, which I will not discuss because I'll start crying. Was over across the street on the sidewalk, probably about here at this location. Very sad. Come on. Anyway, back to the university, or the elementary school. We had a solar eclipse that was a partial on December 13th, 1974, when I was a kindergartner. And I remember we went out over in this area of the school, as we had our little boxes to look in so that we wouldn't go blind looking at the eclipse. And as a kid, I was rebellious and didn't listen and looked into the sun, and I've been blind ever since. So wear your protective glasses. But yeah, I still remember that to this day, as December 13th is a reminder, as we're here on October 13th, Friday the 13th. So, December 13th, 1974, was the 5th dark day of Hanukkah. And it was a Friday. And it occurred in the constellation at the tail, or knee, of Ophiuchus, part of the Serpens constellation as well, because Serpens is the snake and he's in the middle. I showed you the picture at the beginning of this video. And so the eclipse is occurring right there, and there's Mercury on the right and Venus on the left, and then Mars has been judged and is at the star Acrab, where it has failed its judgment and has fallen from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Oopsies. As this is a symbol of this. And as I've been trying to inform you, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not Joseph Smith's church. Joseph Smith's church was Jewish, because the keystone of the Book of Mormon, or the keystone of the Joseph Smith's church, is the Book of Mormon. And it says right there at the beginning, 1 Nephi chapter 1 verse 2, it's in the learning of the Jews. And so it's kind of sad that Mormons don't believe it, that they've replaced the scriptures with Christianity that blinds the mind and the hearts. So tomorrow, make sure you got your glasses, because you will go blind, because it's an annular eclipse, which means it will not completely go dark. And if you bring your camera, make sure you have one of these that... Have I taped it? Oh, there we go. It's a little film thing that protects the camera lens. I made sure that they survived the attack by the church. So, I find it curious that solar eclipses have followed me throughout my life. There was one that heralded my birth. That was impressive. It was on the east. The sign in the heavens in the east, heralding my birth. It was interesting. Total solar eclipse on the east coast of the United States, as I was on the west coast at Berkeley. The Berkeley Alameda County, California hospital, where we lived in Oakland. So it is kind of amazing to then go into the scriptures and learn about this Jewish Christ that Joseph Smith talks about, who's going to be a Mormon. And so therefore all of the Jewish prophecies are about him. Section 103 verse 16, man like Moses, the Jewish Christ. And yeah, 17 is the parable. 16 is where Sodom fell because of neglecting the poor. Oops, you thought it was being gay? Nope, nope, nope. And so in Ezekiel chapter 17, he's giving a parable of the man like Moses. But it's different than all other prophecies, because all other prophecies say that his birth date is the 23rd of September 2017. For example, Revelation chapter 12, verses 1, 2, and 5. Why 5? because Joseph Smith translation moves 5 to verse 3, as well as the Book of Mormon at the beginning of the book, Lehi's second vision. Direct pattern match with Joseph Smith's second vision, of whom he tells us about our Christ who's going to come in 2017 to warn Mormons about the great and abominable church. They need to listen to him or they're going to be cut off by the enemy. And so this is his actual birthday, not the start of his ministry. Because it says, the great eagle, great wings, long-winged, full of feathers, diverse colors, came unto Lebanon, the Tower of Babel. You got to go to the Egyptian documents to understand this, because this comes from the Egyptian documents of Horus, the Christ of the Egyptians. And so the eagle takes the top of the cedars of Lebanon. Tower of Babel, cedars of Lebanon. A young twig. TWG without the vowel. And carried it into a land of traffic. So it's not the Middle East. It's a foreign land. An eagle. Foreign land. Land of traffic. City of merchants. And planted the seed. So, where in the world is there a city of traffic that has tall, strong, sturdy trees like the old cedars of Lebanon? Interesting. The San Francisco Bay is a city of merchants. And it has Oakland, California, where there are also redwoods. Interesting. And so then it moved. Seed of the land, planted it in a fruitful field. He placed it by great waters, sort of like Great Lakes. And set it as a willow tree. Yeah, there are lots of willow trees there in Michigan and the surrounding areas. Western New York. Where Joseph Smith went to a grove of trees, had his first vision, in which who came to him? Wasn't Jesus. He's described as the sun at noonday. And so, yeah, fascinating. He also goes to Utah later on, as they're repeating it. And they talk about Babylon the whore first. And there it is, verse 22. It then will eventually move to the top of a high mountain. Top of the mountain, Utah. Interesting. And there it will be the start of his ministry. In Utah. It's all over scriptures. You don't believe me? Matthew chapter 2. Now when Emmanuel, because he tells us his name's supposed to be Emmanuel, but he's purposely naming him Jesus, because it's the reverse of Isaiah, who he doesn't name, from the prophecy of Isaiah that his name is prophesied to be Emmanuel. El is God, so what's Amen? Well, hey, the Egyptians had an Amen. He's the sun god at noonday. The sun god at noonday, huh? Interesting. Sure, it has nothing to do with Joseph Smith's visions. Just a coincidence. And so Emmanuel is born at the star of the house of bread, Spica, in Virgo, because that's what Isaiah says. A Virgo constellation will conceive Jupiter and give birth at Spica, the house of bread star of Utah. Phonetically the same as Judah, because it's not a J, it was originally a Yod. So Utah, D and T are phonetically the same. And so is it the days of Herod the king? Because this same date, sign in the heavens, is from the Book of Mormon, where it says instead it's Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was put on the throne by Babylon. He's a fake king. Foreign government put him on the throne. Wait a minute. It was 2017, 23rd of September. Wonder who the foreign government was. I wonder which land it was. But thank goodness for Christianity, because all of this disappears. This is now literal history. There was a real boy named Jesus, not Emmanuel, and he was born in Bethlehem in Judea, in the days of Herod the king, who died in 4 BCE, sorry. And so the date would have had to have been at least a couple of years before Herod died. So 6, 7 BCE, when Jesus was born as a literal person in literal history, Roman period time. Or does that screw up Mormon's date for the birth of Jesus? Oh, if only somebody could explain this to us. Because according to the Jews, this is prophecy of the latter days. But Christians turned it into literal history, and now it's confusing as literal history. So we now have to go in and do some changing somewhere. Either we change the date of Herod's death to about 3 or 4 CE. Oh wait, there was a solar eclipse over Russia 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem, which would have been 597 BCE, because that's the first year of the reign of King Zedekiah. I'm sure that the Book of Mormon is literal history, so there's nothing to be concerned about with the learning of the Jews prophesying of the latter days. Whew. We restored Jesus to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, covering up and sealing the hidden prophecies in the learning of the Jews of the Book of Mormon and the Bible and other scriptures that were rejected by the great and abominable Church of Constantine that created Christianity and Jesus and literal history of Scripture.